whatever it is. I think it was J.J. Aldrich he gave you as an underdog pick for UFC 227, and that came in, and today he likes Jussier Formiga against Sergio Pettis. Some pretty good betting value there. All right, as far as betting this fight between Khabib Nurmagomedov and Conor McGregor is concerned, as I've said over the last several weeks, if you do like Khabib, I think you can wait. I think you can get a better price than 165, 170, whatever it is right now. I think the McGregor money is just inevitable when everybody gets to Las Vegas.
Yeah.
I think you're going to see this thing move 20 or 30 cents pretty quickly. Over-under is set at 2.5 rounds right now. You can get even money for the over. So if you are on the Khabib side and you think he's going to extend Conor, maybe you see some value there. Kenny, when this fight was announced, I said on the Anik and podcast that I believed when push came to shove, the striker Kenny Florian was going to pick Conor McGregor to win this fight. I'd imagine it's not all that easy for you to make this pick. I know we always ask you to do it on Monday, but the world wants to know, on which side do you fall, Khabib Nurmagomedov or Conor McGregor, and how do they get it done?
Let's break this down a little bit. Let's talk about Khabib Nurmagomedov. Now, when I look at their records and I see all the guys that they've faced, there's no doubt that Conor McGregor has beaten the tougher roster. There is just no debating that. However, Khabib Nurmagomedov has used a style that we saw in the late 90s and early 2000s with American wrestlers where they would take you down and ground and pound you into oblivion. And there was nothing you could do to stop it. You knew exactly what they were going to do, and you couldn't stop it. The fact that Khabib Nurmagomedov is able to do this in 2018 against every single person he's faced, all 26 of them, is nothing short of remarkable. However, it is a limited style, and there's times where I see him on the feet where he's very vulnerable to counter shots and other strikes. He's a little robotic in what he does. When he's loose and he's flowy, he's fine. It's okay. It's not that bad. But for me, it's his stance that worries me the most. He stands very square, which makes a very large target for any striker. The problem is he's not just going against any striker. He's going against Conor McGregor. And he has the ability, Conor, to find that 1 inch on your chin that he can land that fist and you're out. Khabib also uses that pressure style. Well, Conor sometimes will use that against you. However, it will be difficult for Conor to win this fight if he does get backed up repeatedly in this fight. The man who dominates the center of the octagon will win this fight. And we saw it in his fight against Chad Mendes. Conor McGregor ran out to pursue Chad Mendes. He did not allow him to kind of come back and decide to kind of counter wrestle. No, Conor McGregor takes a proactive approach against most grapplers. And I believe he will do this and must do this against Khabib Nurmagomedov. I also think that Khabib is going to deal with an emotion and an energy that he has never dealt with before. Is he scared of Conor McGregor? No. Is he nervous about how big this fight is? No. But he does want to destroy Conor McGregor. He wants to kill Conor McGregor. He wants to make him pay for everything that he's said, everything that he's done to insult him and his religion and his dad and his family. Those are the things that are going to bother a man from Dagestan. Those are the things that are going to bother a man like Khabib Nurmagomedov. And that is what worries me most. Conor McGregor, you look at all the guys that he has faced. A lot of people believed he wasn't going to beat Dustin Poirier. Okay? A lot of people believed he was not going to beat Chad Mendes. That was a terrible matchup for him. That was at 145 pounds. Conor McGregor had a torn ACL. He was traveling back and forth on fight week, trying to cut down to 145 pounds. This guy was going over to Bristol, Connecticut to do an interview at ESPN on fight week. No one would do that. And he came back, he made the weight, and he won by knockout against Chad Mendes. Okay? Jose Aldo, the greatest featherweight of all time. That was the fight that Conor McGregor was supposed to be exposed in. 13 seconds later, Jose Aldo was knocked out face first into the canvas. Eddie Alvarez, a guy who has fought all over the world, had many fights, many big fights, could not execute a game plan because of his emotions in that fight. After all of that experience, after everything that he has seen, he wasn't able to put across that, take away that illusion, take away that pressure. And he lost to Conor McGregor, and unfortunately, looked like it was his first fight ever in mixed martial arts. Okay, Conor McGregor can do these things to you. And again, his fight against Nate Diaz, that he fought him at 170 pounds. He lost. He was embarrassed in that fight. He came back and looked sharp as hell on the feet. And I believe won that fight by decision. Okay? So this is a Conor McGregor who knows how to deal with pressure. He knows how to deal with adversity. He's coming off this fight against Floyd Mayweather, one of the biggest combat events of all time, period. And I think Conor McGregor will get it done here against Khabib Nurmagomedov. I do believe he will win this fight. If you think you know what's going to happen in this fight, you're crazy and you don't know what you're talking about, because Khabib could absolutely win this fight, and he can win it by finish, just with his pressure and his ground and pound alone.
Sure.
There's no doubt about it. But when I look at the records and I look at the way that Khabib stands, that makes me a little bit nervous here against Conor McGregor, because this is by far the best fight or best fighter that he's ever faced. But for Conor McGregor, this is also the toughest style matchup that he's ever had in his career.
Right.
So this is one that can absolutely go either way. But for you bettors out there, you get an underdog, Conor McGregor, I say take it. This is going to be an amazing fight. I think Conor McGregor gets it done. Let's go with round one.
Round one.
And he had,
TKO.
and he has really, in my opinion, probably 10 to 12 minutes to win this fight. He has 10 to 12 minutes to win this fight against Khabib Nurmagomedov. Anything after that, I think Khabib is going to get the win, most likely from Conor being absolutely exhausted from that pressure style of Khabib Nurmagomedov.
Good stuff, Flo. One final quote here from Conor McGregor, courtesy themaclife.com. I think I'm going to turn him into a bobblehead, to be honest. It's personal, but it's the same. It's always a little personal. But in there, like I say, it's a blank face and a new body. I predict I see his head. I see him turning into a bobblehead when I hit him. I feel his brain is going to rattle when he gets a clatter of me. That's what I'm keeping in my head. So you have the most dominant force in the game, Khabib Nurmagomedov, against the biggest superstar in mixed martial arts history, Conor McGregor. I thought you set it up really well. And I think without a common opponent, Kenny, I think anyone that is so convicted one way or the other is being a little bit disingenuous about what we may or may not see Saturday night.
Yeah, and listen, no fighter, besides maybe John Jones, okay? John Jones is definitely at that level of a Conor McGregor where he is able to cut through the illusion of competition and cut through all the pressure and bring all of his skills to the table on fight night and more. There's no other fighter like a Conor McGregor that's able to do that. A lot of guys, you'll see them in the gym and they're great, but on fight night, they're just not able due to the pressure, due to the hesitation, due to the fear. They don't show us everything that they have. Conor McGregor is able to do that unlike any other fighter, and I think when it comes down to it, when the lights come on, Conor will show up. And it's going to be a good one, man. It's an absolutely fascinating matchup.
I will say, in terms of the big fight atmosphere and the walk that Khabib is going to make, which is dissimilar to any walk that he has made before against Michael Johnson or anybody else, I think he is as well equipped mentally, physically, emotionally to handle this as any fighter on the roster. That doesn't mean that Conor McGregor won't occupy some space in his head, but I do believe that Khabib will be able to get past that and put his best foot forward. I'm glad I don't have to make a prediction on the fight, and look forward to being there for the call. UFC 229, Khabib versus McGregor, Saturday on pay-per-view. Joe Rogan, Dominic Cruz also on the call. Some of you asking why Daniel Cormier won't be calling the fight. Khabib is his dear friend and teammate, so that removed him from contention. Ken Flo, where will you be for UFC 229? Las Vegas or what?
I will be at one of my students' place watching it. He's got a movie theater in his house.
Oh,
so I'll be watching it there.
Send me the text. Give me the analysis. Remember, I'll pay you $50 a text for everything I use on the air.
You got
also, may Rocky BJJ.
Yes, sir.
Sensei Florian is back, 11677 Santa Monica Boulevard, MayRockyBJJ.com. If you do want to meet Kenny Florian, best chance to do it is probably coming in or out of May Rocky BJJ. I'll just throw that out there. Also, before we go, congrats to my man Keith Florian and to you as well, the New Look Florian Martial Arts Center in Brookline, Massachusetts. I knew there was a renovation going on. I didn't know you were actually moving the school. I also didn't realize it's been 10 years, kid. I mean, this is pretty incredible to see where this thing was in Brookline on Webster Avenue or whatever it was turning into this monster. So I just want to close congratulating you and Keith.
Dude, thank you so much. It's been a wild trip, and to be able to do this with my brother has been really special. And yeah, we finally have showers. We have locker rooms. We have an insane amount of mat space. We will have a cage in there as well. And we are growing and building and look forward to having more students. And I'll be there over in November teaching. And I can't wait to be back, man, and check it out for myself. But we've been working very hard on renovating the new Florian Martial Arts Center, new location. And thank you for the shout, dude.
All right, good stuff going on there and great stuff going on this weekend. UFC 229, Khabib versus McGregor. It shall be done. Thank you to our Fox Sports crew. Ben Wasorick, Danny, and the rest. Our guest today, UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley, ESPN's Brett Okamoto, of course, the great Ray Longo, MMA Lock of the Night on the picks. We cannot wait to be back here in less than a week. We'll rehash UFC 229, see how it all played out. It's the return of the king. Will Khabib Nurmagomedov spoil the party? Tony Ferguson's back as well. Can't wait. For Ken Flom, John Anik, thank you all for listening so much. Enjoy the fights. Don't text and drive. We'll talk to you next Monday. Until then, yo fucking later.